Bless up, bless love. I'm listening to music I love. I have no copyrights for this, and I'm not monetized. Fair use. I hope it's not overpowering my voice, but it's in my background. Keeps me vibing. You see, I got Pittsburgh on. You know what I'm saying? A little faded, but hey, y'all see it, baby. Hey, that was I'm stuttering trying to say it right, but yeah, that was quite a game. If I would say I've never used more profanity, but they won the game, so make me feel bad for cussing. You know. Hold on. I gotta bake with my coffee before I get this subject out here. I just want to give thanks. I want to give thanks and I want to give praise to the Most High. Make sure that however you believe consistent to what is taught. We all have angles in which things that we do are considered secular, and it ignores the book because that book was secular, but it taught you how to reason and chart your path. You can't chart your path if you don't have any type of governing, self-governing, or governing of your soul and spirit. You know, when you talk about governing now, the mass majority think of governing from a governmental standpoint, in which I'm really going to not mention anything like that. I have nothing to mention about government, but governing, because we have to govern ourselves. You know what I mean? Which means we have to balance ourselves, and we have to assemble the right type of consistency in production and in overall being and spirit. But when the wheels come off, wheels come off, you know. A lot of people aren't governed. And that means self-governed. Let me turn down. Let me turn something down here. My settings. Come on. Notifications. Okay. Ringtone. Here we go. All right, now. You know, a little bit of technical wranglings going on here. You know. Sometimes we do things based on the fact that we want to be able to control them. If anyone knows best, you can only do things statistically based on what they say, and then you become satisfied with the average results, and then you become satisfied with the average you. The average you being average on a scale can create certain types of decisions that make you seem desperate, and create havoc for yourself. Because it's not even, let's just say, an imbalance issue at that point. It's an issue of choices. Because sometimes you can be satisfied with the status quo's assessment of you, and then you become the you that they, you know, want you to be. You know, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So they can predict when they can come in and, sort of exploit you or, you know, pat you on the back while they stabbing you in it and all that shit. But we learned a few things, right? I learned this ain't loud enough. I like this one right here. It seems like there's no one exempt from this thing up. Even kindly made shocking, I don't wanna feel this thing. Everyone up in this thing up. R.I.P. Midnight. To me, he's the greatest ever lived doing this. Yeah, this is the Midnight Current album. By my man Triple Sevens. You know what I'm saying? Let me give him real shout out. I'm gonna give his page real shout out. I want y'all to go subscribe to my man Studio Triple Sevens. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? He's large. You know what I mean? He puts down all the real, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, this brother done put it down to the point where I didn't, you know what I mean? I think if I was monetized, I'd have to throw him a couple dollars, you know what I'm saying, on this. But I don't want to get into the story of Midnight. It might be too emotional for me right now, but yeah. Even delicately go umama feel distinct. There's no one is exempt from this thing. From morning, hey, start up with the stone and the slinger. Just a humble word without triviality. We are talk to the serious outburst in the springer. I am done. I'm gonna stick to my job. Admiring, listening, in awe of all the mentors in my life. Some musical, some actual. But there's some things nobody else can tell you how to get through your humps. It's trial and error at times. Times you put your best research effort forward and get sidetracked. The best you could do is try to piece something together and you skipping steps. It's like you driving a pickup truck and you got this one crystal in it that can't break. But you put it in the bed of the truck and it just breaks all around it. That's how life can be for a citizen or non-citizen, as we are in the law books, as melanated people. That includes the natives and the Africans, or Al-Kebulan, which I would like to refer to it, not Africanus. He's a European. We all want to see, but he didn't create that. He can't name anything he can't create. Ethiopia created. So let's get out of that. I'm not in there for that. But here's where I'm at. If you take all that's been going on in the media and everything, entertainment, sports, network news, and I will say officials, tossing out the premise that people don't know when they're sick or not, and creating, the fear. I watch doctors speak on it on both sides of the arguments of how powerful these variants are and what they came from. I'm not here to argue that either. I'm just here to say that what we're supposed to do is be able to have a choice on what our personal health decides, because that's how it's always been, from the common cold to the flu. That's how it's always been. You know, when I entered into the military, I didn't get briefings about nothing. I wasn't really all this powerful guy. But, we got a lot of good shots, shots that were from research, years of research and testing. You know, I'm half my life away from the last time I was in the reserves, and I'm as healthy as anybody I've ever known. I'm not saying that to be arrogant or saying that I can't get sick. Anybody can get sick. Let's not be arrogant about that. But don't throw the narratives into one melanated community as a problem, because everybody who I've seen protesting against the situation, I've seen all colors of people protesting against the situation in all countries. It's not like I'm even protesting. I'm just saying, like, don't bring the situation to me if I don't need it. You're wasting it. And if you're wasting those types of situations, you're applying them for a particular reason. So we go back from that, as I digress once more. It's kind of like a jab, dodge, that boxing type shit. It's like I'm not really talking about anything other than we just sit and let these narratives and all this activity come around us, and we're not doing anything about it. We keep running to these situations like save us for some reason. And I get it, because when shit go bad out here, people gonna be rot starving because they don't know how to take care of themselves, and it's okay. It's okay. Sometimes we hit a realization and it hits us all. Nobody's immune and nobody's better than nobody, right? So self-preservation comes in, and then we get to be like a whole a whole world of individual discombobulated units that's self-preservation oriented. And the next thing you know, when the enemy comes, it's like one at a time. Because who's going to help? One at a time. Zap, 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 zap. One at a time. Who's going to help? You know what I mean? But I'm not a fearmonger either. And I'm giving this to you in a sort of a monotone type of voice, because in all actuality, I'm not really afraid of anything that's going down one way or the other. You try to come with the Gestapo type, aspect. I'm not the one to approach like that. So, I don't know who else is. I'm more of a I believe I'm a cerebral type of guy who always learned about the pulse of war. Even before I even stepped foot into the military, I knew the pulse of war, because it always came my way. You get used to fighting your whole life about everything, fighting to keep everything, fighting to keep people off you, fighting to keep people out your face. Fighting for your loved ones, being a protector, a provider, and then when half of that's taken away from you, you get to be like, let's say I'm not the type of person, if I'm in a fight and you take a gun from me and I'm still breathing, you better cut off my hands or some shit. I don't know. But in all relativity, it's just like these times are really, really rough, because now you're seeing more of a stronghold upon human lives from a standpoint of freedoms. People who have enjoyed certain lifestyles, healthy, now have to be told that they're not healthy, and they don't know whether they're healthy or not. And these tests are like, man, I can only imagine these tests. I know a lot of people who are legitimately concerned about their health, and I want to give a shout out to them. I want to make sure they understand that I'm not here to demean anybody's health, but I am here to say that the way that people are attacked in today's society is based on either lack of or faulty information. And anybody who finds out the truth about something is not going to give them their mass produced profits, then it becomes misinformation. Or anything that seems malicious, they call it disinformation. I don't know how they classify that, but in this media shit, you got to kind of be savvy in how you say things, because these people out here just trying to make sure that you don't say something that you're not supposed to say based on something that you know. I'm just coming from the top. My soul teaches me a lot of things. I don't have to know anything from a piece of paper. I don't need that proof anymore. None of us should. The proof we should need is within us already. When we ask ourselves, how are you coming from my soul like that? When all you gonna get is a war. And don't you know war causes attrition? And regardless of how the aggressor feels that they're winning, they always lose in the end. Do you understand that? So you take a few bodies because they talking too much. So the fuck what? What does it really matter? Because what really should matter is the fact that people are watching people lie and seem like nobody can or will do anything about it. Well, and maybe many people are, but they're ending up in some shit. Well, I got news for you. Whether I live another 55 fucking years or not, I don't have to conform. I don't have to dissent, but I don't have to conform. I'm not going to sit up here and say don't do something to anybody. But as it relates to a choice, you're creating this division. You're creating this thing where people are trying to tell people what to do because of what they feel. But they don't even know. Nobody knows. Okay? Except for what they're being told. The people who do know have already more than I can't even tell you how much they get per second. They get probably more money per second than I've made in the last 10 years. Maybe my whole life. Because life is rigged towards the greedy and against anyone who's considered the needy. The extra mouths to feed. Not like we're not paying for our food. Not like it's not like we're stealing food. We're just people you don't want to be on Earth with or on the planet with. So whether you seek another planet or you want to keep this planet, you got to understand one thing. Everybody talk about karma. And even though we never really get to see it directly, we know it's undefeated. It's never stopped anybody from doing nothing. And it never stopped nobody from living a full life, probably dying a nice, peaceful death. But what about your generations? What kind of curse did you put on your generations by the bullshit that you pulling? I don't know. It's easy to make us look crazy because we're saying shit, but I've never really, I don't know. It's a political view from a lot of people who protect this type of thing. And I don't know why, because it's never really gained anything for us. You know what I mean? We're the only group of people in the entire universe that hasn't been reparated by this particular country or the groups of country that kept us enslaved. Because Even the native side of me was enslaved after being free. Even many of them were slaughtered. That's why I feel so alone in this world. So we don't want to talk about all that. Everybody argue over whether we're African or native, but we can be both because of the unions that were created. Like if you saw my grandfather, you wouldn't think at all he might have had native in him. He possibly could have though. But he was from Southern Virginia. And if that's near Salem Port, then you know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it 100. But outside of that, I'm just saying like, our souls are at stake. You know what I mean? We got to understand that. It's not to say, oh, they're going to come in with this machine. And I mean, they might. They're sophisticated. I've never seen genocide this close before. Okay? I've never seen genocide this close before. Never seen it this close. I've lived here half a century in the nickel. I've never seen genocide this close before. Let me explain something to you. It got me up in arms. I got PTSD. And if you notice, I rolled a blunt at the beginning of this, and I just been sipping my coffee so I could talk to y'all. But even though I know I'm talking to myself right now, whoever decides to watch this in the future, hopefully my ramblings can give you something to think about. Lovers of money, blasphemers, self-control, brutal despisers of good, the lovers of Jah, Rastafari. Such people turn away, yeah. Turn away. This is the last days, perilous time will come. Men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money. Boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient, unthankful, unholy, unloving, unforgiving, slanderers without self-control, brutal despisers of good, traitors and headstrong and haughty, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of Jah. I couldn't say no better than that. Having a form of godliness. You know what I'm saying? People turn away. And it's not even to say somebody's better than somebody. It's just, spirit and soul don't lie. There's some, body language and all that other stuff don't lie either. So it's kind of a combination of everything. Body language comes from soul, and discernment comes from spirit. So if you're able to discern something, yeah, and you know whether it's an agreement or a disagreement from the level. We don't even need conversation to have that. Yes, Lord. Wow, that was quite a yeah, baby. Anyway, I'm gonna let this fade out, and all I can say is, imagine waking up and realizing that everyone who you looked up to as your leader was really feeding you to the grave. How would you think that would feel? And you putting your trust and belief in these people, and you don't see what their pockets is looking like on the other side, baby. While you struggling your ass off, you worried about a fucking voter's right. That's about as political as I'm gonna get. We worry about the wrong things, and we think about the wrong things. Because we ain't supposed to worry about shit. we had our shit together. And if I had my shit together, then we could have our shit together. So I'm part of that problem too. I always say, until my shit's together, our shit ain't together. And I'm not saying that because somebody else's shit's together. No, I'm saying it's a us, it's a we. It's collective. I'm sure that person wants to help more people like himself or herself, but they want to be able to fall in line with those who they can mesh with to get their bottom line across. So that's what business is really all about. But speaking from the business of your soul, there's a lot of things that you could do that doesn't have to do with breaking bread, that you can do to make a difference in society. Just even being a positive spirit in society. You don't have to be anything more than that. You don't need a title or nothing. Titles are sick to me. But they're important when people are using them well, when they live up to it. It's when it makes sense. So I'm gonna let this go. I'm gonna come back with another vibe sometime later on in the night. Might do it without the music. Little acapella spoken word for you. In the meantime, may your soul be kept righteous for those who seek in the righteous way. You're living it, then you found it. Pass it on. More of us really need it. We need to be humble in how we give it. For love and mercy. Yah. Bless. What them do?